Viewer advisory. The events you are about to witness are based on a true story. Some scenes may be deeply unsettling for certain audiences. Viewer discretion is strongly recommended. The champagne flutes still held their bubbles when the call came in. Midnight, pool deck, face down in water that had never been disturbed by anything more violent than a gentle evening breeze. They said it was love that no one saw coming. A 72-year-old fashion empire builder and a smooth-talking financial coach 30 years younger, exchanging vows on a Miami beach under April stars that witnessed more than just romance. The photos were intimate, the ceremony private. Just Delfina, Quentin, and her 18-year-old daughter, Aviona, watching from the front row. 7 days later, Delfina Marchand was dead. But this isn't a story about love gone wrong. This is about predators who hunt in pairs, and the moment when a mother's protective instincts collided with her daughter's darkest betrayal. Tonight's story is one that will leave you rattled. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and tell us in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. Now, let's begin. Delfina Marchand had built her fashion dynasty from nothing. A girl from Jackson, Mississippi, who turned thread and determination into a global brand. By 2019, she'd retired at the height of her power, her name synonymous with elegance and control. She was the woman who never let her guard down, never made impulsive decisions, never trusted easily. Until Quentin Braze entered her orbit. At 42, Quentin was everything Delfina should have seen coming. The motivational speaker with a manufactured backstory, claiming he'd gone from eviction to equity in 5 years with no verifiable records to prove it. His Instagram was a carousel of rented mansions and borrowed luxury cars. His book, From Broke to Black Excellence, was filled with generic advice and recycled quotes. But Quentin understood something crucial about powerful, aging women. They hunger for someone who listens without trying to diminish them. When he met Delfina at a Heritage Power brunch in Atlanta, he didn't pitch himself as her equal. He positioned himself as her student. Legacy isn't what you leave behind, he told the crowd that day. It's who you prepare to hold it. Delfina remembered that line. She approached him after his talk, and within months, the woman who had guarded her privacy like state secrets was being photographed on Colombian yachts, laughing at his jokes, letting him pour her wine. But the real seduction wasn't happening between Quentin and Delfina. It was happening between Quentin and Aviona. While the gossip blogs focused on the May-December romance, nobody noticed how often the stepfather-to-be pulled the teenage daughter aside. Nobody questioned why Aviona suddenly needed help with her jewelry at the rehearsal dinner, or why she and Quentin shared private jokes at the wedding reception while Delfina sat just 10 feet away. Nobody saw Aviona slip Quentin her phone number written in fountain pen, the same way her mother had given him hers a year earlier. The Serenity Pearl Resort was chosen specifically for its isolation. No paparazzi, no witnesses, just Bungalow 7, with its private infinity pool and 24-hour butler service, nestled between tall palms where screams would be muffled by ocean waves. For 5 days, Delfina maintained her routines. Morning tea at 8:15, barefoot walks along the shore, evening spent reading while Quentin scrolled through his tablet nearby. She never entered the pool. Delfina had been afraid of water since a fall 6 years earlier had left her with a fractured hip and lasting wariness of slick surfaces. But on April 7th, something changed. Hotel records show that Aviona checked into the Fontainebleau Hotel that same afternoon, not under her own name, but using the surname Braze. She paid cash for the presidential suite and told the clerk he's already upstairs when offered assistance with luggage. She wasn't talking about hotel staff. At 11:47 p.m., the pool surveillance camera at Serenity Pearl went dark for what management called scheduled maintenance. Convenient timing for what happened next. The toxicology report that police never requested would have shown traces of lorazepam in Delfina's system, a sedative that causes disorientation and muscle weakness. Enough to make a woman who feared water suddenly believe she was brave enough for a midnight swim. But Delfina Marchand didn't drown by accident. She drowned because her new husband held her down while her daughter watched from the shadows, both of them waiting for the inheritance that would set them free to live the life they'd been planning since that first glance across a wedding reception. The 911 call came at 12:06 a.m. Kenton's voice, professionally frantic. "My wife went swimming while I was on a business call. When I returned, I found her face down. Perfect timing. Perfect alibi. Perfect crime. Except for one detail they hadn't considered. Delphina Marchand was a woman who documented everything. Every business decision. Every financial transaction. Every relationship. And in the weeks before her wedding, she'd begun keeping a private journal about the strange dynamic she'd noticed developing between her daughter and her fiancé. The journal was found 3 weeks after her death, hidden in a safety deposit box that Kenton didn't know existed, alongside a handwritten will that left everything to a trust fund Aviona couldn't access until age 25, with one crucial provision. If Delphina died within the first year of her marriage to Ken Braze, the entire estate would be donated to charity. She knew. The entries revealed a mother's growing horror as she realized her daughter and her husband were conducting an affair right under her nose. The final entry, dated April 6th, one day before her death, contained just 4 words, "They think I don't know." But Delphina Marchand had spent 72 years being underestimated, and she'd built her empire by staying 3 steps ahead of people who thought they were smarter than her. When the FBI reopened the case 6 months later, they found the journal, the amended will, and security footage from the Fontainebleau Hotel, showing Aviona and Kenton embracing in the elevator just hours before Delphina's death. They also found something else, a second life insurance policy that Delphina had secretly purchased just weeks before the wedding, one that would pay out double if she died by accidental drowning. She'd been setting a trap. The trial lasted 8 months. Ken Braze was convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy. Aviona Marchand, despite being just 18, was tried as an adult and received life without parole for matricide and fraud. In her victim impact statement, Delphina's sister read from the final page of the hidden journal, "If you're reading this, it means they succeeded in killing me. But I've made sure they won't succeed in profiting from it. My real legacy isn't what they tried to steal, it's the justice I've left behind." The Marchand estate, worth $847 million, was distributed exactly as Delphina had planned. Scholarship funds for young designers. Support for single mothers. Everything she'd worked for, protected from the predators who thought love was just another investment opportunity. Kenton and Aviona had been so focused on the inheritance, they never considered that the woman they were plotting against had spent her entire life outmaneuvering people who underestimated her intelligence. Even in death, Delphina Marchand had the last word. Justice wasn't just served, it was designed, crafted, and delivered with the same precision that had made her a fashion icon. The woman who built an empire from thread and determination had woven one final masterpiece, a trap so elegant, so perfectly constructed, that her killers walked right into it. Some legacies are measured in money. Others are measured in justice. Delphina Marchand left behind both. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We upload new true crime content daily, covering cases you know and many you don't. Stick with us as we bring you more stories that deserve to be heard. See you in the next video.